The television series Car Masters Rust to Riches was created when classic car restoration-themed television shows became such a huge hit on cable. It had been classified as part of the reality TV genre, in which a production crew basically followed the daily lives of regular people, going about their normal work routine. In this case, Gotham Garage was the star of the series, and its car restoration projects were featured in the show. The success of a reality TV series revolved around its authenticity, or on how the producers and directors could present it as real, even if it was somewhat make-believe or scripted. Over the 3 seasons of the Car Masters Rust to Riches, the recurring question in online discussions about the show was, is the Gotham Garage crew for real? The premise of the show was more or less similar to most make-up reality TV series out there. The Gotham Garage team would work on several types of old, often rusty classic vehicles, and then turn them into polished, great-looking hot rods with upgraded motors. Car Masters Rust to Riches premiered on the 14th of September 2018, and from the get-go offered something entirely different from other car TV series. Instead of just flipping bangers and selling them for a profit, the team would enter into a series of trades that would give them a chance at a huge payday at the end of each project they took in. The crew's mantra was they upgrade and trade by converting $1,000 worth of rusty buckets into 6-figure works of art in just a few greasy steps. For instance, a rusty, dilapidated 1953 Buick, which cost them less than $1,000, would get a Gotham Garage upgrade, which turned it into something that would give them $25,000 to $30,000. They would trade it for a 1971 Chevy Blazer with a fully removable hardtop, and after they restored that, including new upgrades, it would give them about $60,000, which they would then trade for a replica of a 1959 Corvette Stingray concept car. When this car came out of their garage looking better than its original form, they could get around $120,000 for it. Car Masters Rust to Riches never explained how the Gotham Garage crew came together. It was founded by its owner, Mark Towley, who worked for many years making movie props, including cars, which were used by several Hollywood movie and television studios. Even when still growing up, he developed a talent for fixing broken gadgets or toys. Mark would go to dumpsters with his best friend, and they would rebuild anything they found that interested them. Instead of just restoring them to their previous glory, they would upgrade them. He started with non-automotive stuff, and eventually moved onto all types of vehicles, even boats and helicopters. His resume also included working on some small acting gigs. Restoring and upgrading old decrepit cars in a short time would definitely require a bigger team, but surprisingly, Gotham Garage was comprised of just 5 people. The owner had 4 competent and skilled individuals working with him, who were adept at finishing all their car projects. They might have contracted other people to provide additional work on them, but they were never mentioned. The rest of the crew consisted of Sean Pilot, the negotiator, Constance Nunez, the engine specialist, Michael Caveman Pyle, the mechanic, and Tony Canones, the master machinist fabricator. Basically, the G in Gotham meant that they worked on gasoline cars, but they didn't back out from challenges including electric cars, if that was the preference of the client. While most of them, especially Mark, had traumatic experiences from working with smart technology, he mostly leaned on Tony to deal with the intricacies of the electric-based motors. Clearly, each of the crew had their own specialization, and they respected each other's talents. In Season 2, to ensure that they didn't step on each other's toes, literally and figuratively, they were split into 2 groups. They could then enjoy working with a wider space because of the second shop. The first season of Car Masters Rust to Riches had 8 episodes and attracted a huge number of viewers. Some fans felt that everything was simplified in a way that even those who weren't gearheads could follow what was going on in the show. The TV production crew avoided showing any over-dramatized situations that made any other reality TV shows such an abomination, even if those scenarios provided entertainment for some viewers. While the team's well-laid plans sometimes went awry, the team never made a violent fuss and dealt with the problems professionally. Mark's team shared a certain camaraderie that connected them with the audience. Many of the conversations were amusing, which made the series more enjoyable, and so overall, it became so popular that Netflix ordered another season. In the first episode of Season 2, the crew indicated that their second shop had just officially opened in California, where the TV show was mostly filmed. They were able to afford the second shop because they had a great year during the first season by trading up 2 vehicles, ending up with $140,000, which they used to open the second shop. The second season never veered away from its initial premise, but the setbacks kept getting bigger, which posed a challenge to the Gotham Garage team. They eventually came out on top, as everyone was mostly on the same page when a problem occurred. During the last 2 episodes of the second season, a conflict of interest was shown, which divided the team. Mark, Sean, and Constance agreed to donate the 1960 XNR they poured their heart and time into restoring to the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles. The Caveman and Tony felt that they were punched in the gut, since they were expecting to get a huge payday after potentially selling it for 6 figures. They argued that they would be out of business for honor, especially since they just opened up their second shop. Eventually, they all agreed to donate it, since Mark said that he would dip into the shop's cash reserves so that they could recoup the loss. He also said that nothing feels great when you see something you created become part of a world-class collection to celebrate the craftsmanship of the automotive industry. He didn't want them to regret that they could have done something great in their lives, but let it pass by. Since Netflix offerings are based on popularity, another season of CarMaster's Rust to Riches was ordered, which aired from the 4th of August 2021, and like previous seasons, comprised 8 episodes. Even those who weren't car or racing enthusiasts were being pulled into the reality series because of how it was being presented to the viewers. Instead of just focusing on how they configured the restoration process, they also featured the business side of it. Working on a limited budget could be difficult, and being creative in finding great trades fascinated many viewers. The team dealt with many unbelievable concepts, such as converting a 1933 Ford replica into an Art Deco De La Haye capable of drifting on a technical track, or working for a demanding client just to finance a costly car project. To achieve their 6-figure profit, the projects included a bus, a hot tub, an International Harvester Scout, and a vintage Ford pickup, along with a vintage Impala and a Prius. Working on these vehicles while trying to be creative was more challenging, since they now needed to follow social distancing regulations pursuant to the pandemic caused by the COVID-19 virus. Generally, the reality TV show CarMaster's Rust to Riches is well loved by fans and gained a huge following because it was well put together. Ironically, it was also for this reason that its authenticity was questioned. Was it at all possible that for some reason Gotham Garage had the right people for television? Imagine a garage crew with a charismatic leader, the street smart guy, the cool guy, and the caveman guy, along with a smoking hot model type girl, all fixing cars together. It's like a light version of the cast of the movie Gone in 60 Seconds, released back in 2000. While it seemed unlikely, all things are possible, and sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. Nonetheless, some viewers still couldn't believe that Gotham Garage could be that lucky to have these personalities in one auto shop. The main problem with the show when it comes to authenticity was that the restoration process with each of the members of the team doing what they were good at was never shown. The editing was great, which made the show interesting, but details were still lacking. It could be boring sometimes to look at the details, but it doesn't hurt to once in a while feature how they really worked on it step by step, even with just a condensed version. While the process was being narrated, the actual restoration that was shown on TV was quite vague. While there weren't any questions about Mark, Tony, and Michael, as they've been part of automotive shops before in their stint with CarMasters, it was quite different in the case of Constance and Sean. For instance, why Constance was referred to as the engine specialist was never shown, just glossed over and narrated, but never really showing her skills. It didn't help that Constance would oftentimes work on these cars with well cared for long nails and looking well groomed without the usual oil or dirt stains that come with working in a garage. People were highly skeptical that she could still spend time in the garage fixing cars while having modeling gigs left and right, as indicated in her social media accounts. While there was no proof to show that she was relatively unskilled, what bothered fans was that there wasn't any evidence to support otherwise, and her resume didn't include any automotive experience aside from being a brand ambassador. In any case, many male fans probably treated Constance as eye candy, which was enough for them. But it could be frustrating for women who are fighting for their place in what's normally a man's world. Some believed that she's really a skilled mechanic, since she had a great mentor growing up. Her father was Ernie Nunez, a known seasoned mechanic and amateur race car driver. To her credit, she recently opened her own car shop in California called Cars by Constance, announcing that she partnered with the Rockstar Garage for exclusive space in its new location, so that she could create more cool cars, such as the Danger Stang and the Cyberpunk Mustang. Another point raised by the fans was how Sean was hired as part of the team. His resume included a long list of acting jobs in movies and on TV. While he was quite believable when he discussed his trades, it seemed that everything he said was rehearsed, and that it came from a script. Some fans even doubted his extensive knowledge about trading cars in the automotive industry. Aside from being an actor, he's a professional poker player and earned close to $500,000 from the 70 live tournaments he joined. His last public tournament was at the $250,000 No Limit Hold'em 1 p.m. Daily Deep Stack in Las Vegas 2019, where he finished at number 44. Fans surmised that he probably needed to step away from the game when the reality TV series became popular, since he could compromise the validity of his position as the negotiator in the show. The biggest hint about the show being a sham was when fans found out that there's no real auto shop. Other successful car shows, such as Fast and Loud, featured the daily activities of Gotham Garage, and Chasing Classic Cars featured Wayne Carini's auto shops called Continental Auto Limited, as well as Carini Carrozziera. Some sites claimed that there is a Gotham Garage out there, which might be true, but some fans believed that it was only being used when they filmed the TV series. When fans investigated its online presence, its current website doesn't even indicate that they have a physical address. All of the content on the website was about what occurred in the TV show. There was no information on how they operate, and very little merchandise for sale, even if their Instagram account promoted it. The only featured products were 3 types of t-shirts and a sticker pack. There might be other reasons why the online site wasn't updated, but it's highly unlikely that a successful auto shop would operate without a well-maintained website. Viewers were also curious as to the reason why the stars of the show didn't work together in building cars during the off-season. It's also highly suspicious that when one looked into their Instagram accounts, the cast didn't seem to have a close relationship with each other when they were supposed to be working together as a team in a garage. It just didn't add up, and because of these circumstances, questions still remain to be answered about the series' authenticity. Based on its popularity, in general, the fans of CarMaster's Rust to Riches didn't really care if it's 100% authentic or not. Many people thought that the show wouldn't be questioned if only they showed some details on TV of the actual restoration process done by the stars of the show. However, most reality TV shows couldn't claim to be real in their entirety anyway. Many TV producers would say that these shows also need to be entertaining, and so there were necessary tweaks here and there. There hasn't been any announcement yet from Netflix regarding ordering another season of the automotive reality series, but the good thing for fans is that there's no cancellation news either. Some producers believed that the streaming giant would want the CarMaster's Rust to Riches on their roster of TV shows to offer in 2022, as reality documentary TV series became more popular during the pandemic. So, expect to see CarMaster's team trade and restore old, rusty, and dilapidated cars sometime in the near future.
Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.